Welcome back, my amazing art students. Today we're going to be talking about how to create space in a picture. Now I'm not talking about moons and stars and planets. How do I make this flat, tiny piece of paper look like it goes out into space or coming out at you? So we are going to learn a skill today that is very important in art. So I have drawn a beautiful picture. This is on a whiteboard. Which object is the closest to you? Now I know it's a flat whiteboard, but through an illusion, how do you know which one is closest? Think about it. Which object is far away? Think about it. Well, if you said that the unicorn is the closest, you are correct. If you said the moon is the furthest away, you are correct. This is a skill called overlapping. So when something is in front of something else, like my horse is in front of my tree, which is in front of the moon, it's creating depth in my artwork. So that's a skill we're going to learn today, and we're going to be doing it with leaves because right now it is fall and leaves are falling from the sky and they're landing on top of each other. So we're going to be creating depth of leaves overlapping in our art. All right, let's check it out. So before I begin my artwork, I want to make sure I understand how to overlap. So I'm going to do some basic shapes. So I'm going to start with a circle. Who knows, maybe it's a baseball, maybe it's a tennis ball. And I have, let's say a box of cereal. So I have to decide which one do I want in front. If I want my circle in front and it's hiding the cereal box, can I see that corner of the cereal box? No, I cannot. So what do I have to do? I have to erase it. So now it looks like the circle is in front of this rectangle. What if I did it the other way? What if my cereal was falling from the shelf and it bumped into the circle and I erased the other half of it? Now this one is in front of the circle. Let's try it with a real life thing. What if I had some toast, and let's say my fork fell on top of it. Here's my handle and my fork prongs. Looks like a hand. All right, so how do I know that my fork is on top of my toast? Would I be able to see X-ray vision through the fork and see those lines? No, I would not. So I'm going to erase that. And now it looks like my fork is on top of my toast. So before we get into the artwork, if you have a whiteboard and whiteboard markers at home and you want to practice some overlapping first, I highly suggest that because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some overlapping using leaves. So I have some leaves here and I'm going to trace those designs all the way around. Oop. All right, it's only practice. And then this one is falling from the sky. It's going to land right on top of it. So now I'm going to overlap what I see. All right, there's my leaf. So if this leaf is on top, and as cool as it would be to have X-ray vision like a superhero, I don't have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase what is underneath that leaf. And then to make it more leaf-like, I'm going to make some leaf lines, which is like a Y, and then some little Ys. And then even here, I'm going to draw some lines behind the leaf to show that it is overlapping. And now it looks like I have two leaves on top of each other. All right, so grab a piece of paper, grab some leaves and a pencil, and let's do our artwork. Whoosh. I am ready to create my artwork. So for this, I'm going to need a plain piece of paper, a pencil with a good eraser on it, a Sharpie, and some leaves. So I'm going to start tracing some leaves. So I might have them peekaboo from the inside and just do part of a leaf. Show you what that looks like. Okay, maybe I want the whole leaf, and I'm going to overlap it just a little bit there. Make sure when you're tracing, you stay nice and close to the stencil. All right, so right here where those two leaves meet, it looks like I have X-ray vision. I can see through one or the other, and I don't want that. I want to show that something is on top. So I'm going to choose this one to be on top. So what am I going to have to do to this line right here? I'm going to have to erase it. So I'm going to erase as best as I can. Don't worry, we're going to be painting on top of it. So if you see it a little bit. And now when I Sharpie it, let me trace those lines. It's going to look like this one is covering that one. It's overlapped. It's in front of. All right, so I'm going to fill my paper first with some leaves and pencils, and then I will show you the next step. Now you're going to take a black Sharpie to trace over all of your pencil lines. Don't forget to trace the leaf lines. Excellent work this week. You have completed all the work for week 1. We're going to stop here for today, and next week we will be adding color. So when you are ready, you may watch the rest of the video. So now I have all of my fallen leaves on top of my paper. They look like they're right on top of each other, and so now it's time to add some color. So since we've been learning all about those warm and cool colors, we're going to use this to decide how we're going to paint that. So since most of our leaves have now turned red, orange, and yellow, and I know that those are the warm colors, what color should I paint the background to make them stand out? You got it. We're going to use the cool colors for the background. All right, let's go do that. So for color, you can choose really any kind that you would like. You can do markers and crayons for this, but I thought painting is really fun to mix and blend, and this is a perfect project to show you how to do that. All right, so notice I got my warm colors, red, orange, and yellow. I'm going to use these 3 on top of my leaf. So that's going to be where I start with. So for an example, this leaf that's right smack dab in the middle, I might do some red on the top of my leaf. Make it nice and bright. And then once I get down here, maybe I want to mix the next color into it. I can do orange. When I do that, wash my brush first, get the next color, and I'll start painting orange. Now, where my 2 colors meet, if I start mixing back and forth, what do you notice? They are blending. So now I've got a red and an orange next to each other to make a reddish orange. And then I'll finish the bottom with some more yellow. And again, I'll mix and blend and mix with my orange. And now I've got a nice gradient from yellow to orangish red to red. Pretty cool. All right, I'm going to keep painting. So before this dries, I want to show you a really fun trick that I learned about. If you add salt into your water, it will make a little texture almost like stars when it dries. So if you've got some just simple salt at home, give it a little sprinkle, and see what happens to your art. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll do the cool colors in the negative space. All right, my painting is complete. I've got my warm colored leaves on the background of my cool color, just because the air is getting all nice and crisp and cool. And that salt, I don't know if you can see, has made a really neat texture in my watercolor paint. So I hope you enjoyed doing this project with me, and I can't wait to see it. So make sure you take a picture and share it back to me. All right, see you next week. Bye.